Okay. Can you hear me there at the jail?
Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty. Good morning, everyone. My name is Judge Christy Ruppe, and you are all here this morning for first appearance. The purpose of this hearing is to inform you of the charges against you and determine whether there is probable cause for your arrest. Probable cause only means that it's more likely than not that you committed the crimes in which you've been arrested for. As you stand here before me today, you are considered not guilty of what you've been arrested for, and that status will stay with you through each stage of these proceedings up until changed by you if you plea out to your case or the state attorney's office if they prove the case against you beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. In all likelihood, you were arrested on a warrant or a new charge. Either way, you were given a bond pursuant to the bond schedule for the 5th Judicial Circuit. I will determine whether to keep that bond the same, increase it, decrease it, or whether there are any other conditions of pretrial release which will be imposed upon you. I will also determine this morning whether you'd like to represent yourself, hire a private attorney, or whether you would like the assistance of the Public Defender's Office. If you cannot afford an attorney, you have the right to have an attorney represent you at each stage of these proceedings, and I will appoint a public defender this morning. You are also entitled to make a phone call. If you haven't done so yet, please let me know. If you need to let friends, family, or counsel know where you are, we'll make sure you get that phone call today. Finally, and most importantly, you have the right to remain silent, and I encourage you to do so. These hearings are recorded, and there is an assistant state attorney in this courtroom writing down everything that you say. Anything you say about the facts of your case can and will be used against you in the prosecution of your case down the road. So this is not a hearing to hash out the facts. At this time, I'd like everyone to raise your right hand so I can place you under oath. Swear or affirm the testimony before the court will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Okay, go ahead and put your hands down. As I call your name, please come forward to the podium. Did you guys want to handle...
That would be, we could do Reese Shoop first.
Reese Shoop.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Shoop, what's your date of birth?
6/24/66.
Okay, you are here this morning for failure to comply with sexual predator obligations. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Do you want to represent yourself? Are you going to hire somebody, or do you want the public defender's office?
That's what I'm being arrested for, ma'am.
I'm sorry, sir. Can you pull the microphone down a little bit?
I'm sorry. I didn't quite. Can you repeat the charge, please?
Oh, yes, sir. You are being charged with failure to comply with sexual predator obligations. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm just wondering what you want to do with an attorney at this time. Would you like me to appoint an attorney to represent you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I need an attorney, please.
Okay, I will appoint the public defender's office.
Thank you.
Okay. State.
He does have criminal history going back to 99, Judge. There was cruelty toward child abuse that went to
What's my bail on that?
Sir, if you hold on 1 second, I've inquired of the state attorney's office your prior record, and if you listen, you'll be able to hear it, okay?
Sorry, ma'am.
2001, insufficient funds, assault in 2002 in Hernando County, sexual assault, sex battery on I believe a child, adjudication of guilt, sex battery, another count of sex battery, did go to the Florida Reception Center. He had trafficking in oxycodone conviction in 2009 in Hernando County, and a sexual predator violation at that time as well, Judge, where he was adjudicated guilty, and he went to Florida State Prison. He has another sexual offender violation in July of 2015. He was adjudicated guilty of that and did serve time in Florida State Prison. Based on the fact that he's been had these violations before, Judge, this kind of history, I'm asking the court consider the no bond.
Okay.
Judge, just real briefly, certainly I believe he's entitled to a bond. Bond is a function of not what your prior record is, but just to ensure that you will show in court. I believe there would be a requirement of the GPS, so he would be tracked. In my reading of the affidavit indicates that what the violation is not having some vehicles registered. Certainly there's no allegation of absconding or of not registering with the sheriff's office, but what they're indicating is that registration was being complete. So we'd ask for a reasonable bond. He has been adjudged in the terms.
Judge, I do have the officer here regarding the case if the court has any questions.
Okay. If the detective wants to speak, I'd be glad to hear from him.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Shoup is a registered sexual predator. We believe that on this charge he is a flight risk.
Why do you believe that?
We believe that he will leave town, that a GPS monitor will not hamper his attempt to flee. We believe that he has concerns for additional charges that are pending, and we concur with the state that no bond be issued for Mr. Shoup.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Detective.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Mr. Shoup, I have an address for you on 11811 Broad Street, number 15. Is that where you live?
Correct.
How long have you lived there?
3 years off and on. That's where I work.
Okay. Do you have a job?
Yes. I manage the
You
park
work.
there.
Okay. So you work there. What is that? Like a motel or something?
It's a trailer park.
Okay. And that's where you work?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And how long have you worked there?
About 3 years.
All right. Do you have any other family in the area?
No. No, ma'am.
Okay. I understand what the state is saying, that, there might be some concerns with further charges. But so far he's been here for 3 years. He's worked here for 3 years. And based on these charges alone of not having a vehicle registered appropriately, I don't think that shows that he's a flight risk. I think that he's entitled to a bond for this case. I'm going to go ahead and give him a bond of $100,000, and I'm going to order the GPS. We're going to see you back to court for these charges on November 6th at 9 a.m., okay? Amy Brown. Hi, Ms. Brown. What's your date of birth?
10/25/86.
Okay, you were here this morning for introduction of contraband into the jail facility. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Do you want to represent yourself? Do you want to hire somebody, or do you want the public defender's office?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. I do see here that you have an open case, but it looks like the arrest for that was on the same day, and that's where this case came out of. So, just to clarify.
That's what I don't
Okay, but you don't have to say
ma'am.
anything. Don't say anything about the facts of your case, okay? All right, state that she have a prior record.
She, just I'm showing the arrest that we saw,
Okay.
misdemeanor.
All right, and that's it. All right.
I do show she was born in Tennessee and has a Tennessee driver's license.
Okay. Ms. Brown, I have an address for you on Campbell Drive in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you lived there?
On and off for 1.5 years.
Okay. Do you have a job?
I work with my boyfriend making sawmills.
Okay. Do you also have a residence in Tennessee?
I have Tennessee ID. I've not had a chance to switch it to Florida, but I've been here for 1 year.
Okay.
I just ain't got the money.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and set your bond at $1,000. We're going to see you back to court on November 6th at 8:30 a.m., okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Christina Cattermarsh?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, ma'am. What's your date of birth?
4/2/67.
Okay, you are here this morning for a petty theft, a felony petty theft, a grand theft, a resisting a merchant, and uttering a forged instrument, and another uttering a forged instrument. I did find probable cause for all of these. Do you want to represent yourself? Do you want to hire somebody, or do you want the public defender's office?
Public defender, please.
Okay, I will go ahead and appoint the public defender on each of these cases. State prior record?
Yes, ma'am. Her prior record goes back to 2001, grand theft, adjudication of guilt, 2002, violation of probation for grand theft, 2004, Clearwater, possession of crack cocaine, a failure to appear in 2004 on that felony charge, illegal use of credit cards, adjudication of guilt in 2004, probation violation 2005, Shell Florida State Prison, registration March 2015, violation, possession of cocaine, and a failure to appear in 2007, a 2008 forgery adjudication, withheld, shoplifting, Hernando, allegation 2010, fraudulent use of credit cards, 2011, Hernando, that was dropped, a grand theft arrest in August of 2013, shoplifting 2014, grand theft, Hernando 2015, conviction of that grand theft, failure to appear in August of 2015, 2015 registration for Florida State Prison, violation in November of 2015 of probation and back to prison in January 2016, grand theft in August of 2016 and 2016 Florida State Prison.
Okay.
I think there might be some out-of-state history as well, but I don't know if you've heard enough.
I have. All right, Ms. Hale, Ms. Cattermarsh, I have an address for you on Hale Ave in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yeah, it's where I've been staying, but yeah.
Okay, do you have another address where you live?
21253 Yonce Road.
21253 Yonce Road?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how long have you lived there?
On and off for several years.
Okay. Do you have a job?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Your return court date on all of these cases is November 6th, so you know. The first case that I have with the felony petty theft, I'm going to set your bond at $10,000. Second case I have with the grand theft and the resisting and merchant, your bonds are $10,000 and $1,000. The uttering forged instrument, we're going to keep at $2,000, and the second uttering forged instrument, we're going to keep at $2,000. So it's a total of $25,000 is your bond, okay? We'll see you back to court on November 6th, and I've appointed the public defender in all of your cases. Lillian Gonzalez.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Gonzalez. What's your date of birth?
October 3rd, 1983.
Okay. You are here this morning for a child abuse charge. I did find probable cause for that. Do you want to represent yourself? Do you want to hire somebody, or do you want the public defender's office?
I have an attorney.
Okay, who's your attorney?
I have Robert Strick.
I'm sorry, what's the name?
Robert E. Strick. I have his card.
Robert Strick. Okay.
Yeah, he just opened his practice from here, from Orlando.
Okay. All right. Represented by private counsel. All right. State, does she have a prior record?
Yes, ma'am. In the 2016, some type of grand theft or grand larceny arrest. 2012, it looked like a drug possession arrest. Driver license suspended. Making a false report arrest in 2011. A reckless driving in 2010. I'm not showing dispositions.
Okay. All right, Ms. Gonzalez, I have an address for you on Gifford Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is that where the minor child lives as well?
No.
Okay. How long have you lived there?
Last 8 years.
Do you have a job?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of work do you do?
I work at Burger King the last 2 years.
Okay. All right, I'm going to set your bond at $10,000 on this case. I'm going to order that you have no contact with the minor child whose initials are SS. That means you cannot, unless a circuit court tells you differently in another case, or even in this case, unless the circuit judge says you can have contact with this child, you're to have no contact with this child. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And to ensure that you don't go to that home and you don't have contact with that child, I am going to order that you get a GPS monitor placed upon you before you leave from jail if you do bond out.
Okay.
Okay, I don't want you anywhere near SS, anywhere near where he goes to school or where he lives. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have any contact with him without permission from the court, then you'll be charged with another crime and you'll be held without bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll see you back to court on November 6th at 8:30 a.m. Brian Evers,
Judge, he's a drug court remand. What was our date we wanted?
We
October
need next Thursday.
1019.
19th?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Evers. What's your date of birth?
9/27/83.
All right. You are here this morning for a failure to appear. It looks like you failed to appear in front of Judge Scaglione for
Yes, ma'am.
Veterans Court back on October 5th.
Yes, ma'am.
So what he wants us to do is hold you no bond and get you back in front of him, okay? Do you want me to appoint
Yes,
a public
ma'am.
defender for you?
He's already on it, but
Okay.
sure.
I'll make sure the public defender's still on your case. We're going to hold you no bond for this, and we'll get you back to court on October 19th at 1:30, okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Benjamin Goodwin.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
6/16/89.
Okay. Okay, you've been charged with retail theft and resisting a merchant. I did find probable cause for both of those. Did you want to represent yourself? Do you want to hire somebody, or do you want the public defender's office?
Public defender, please, Your Honor.
Appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
Yes, ma'am.
State, plead or prior record?
Yes, ma'am. 2015, a Pasco arrest for shoplifting. 2016, petty theft in Hernando County, conviction. July 2017, grand theft of a firearm arrest in Hernando County, and dealing in stolen property. I think the grand theft firearm was dropped and the dealing was in some form of a diversion program. Checking, there was a out-of-state history with charges of additional type charges of theft in violation of it says parole or probation.
Okay.
Fraudulent use of credit card and a disorderly conduct.
Okay. Everyone lives on Hale Ave. Mr. Goodwin, I have an address for you also on Hale Ave in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How long have you lived there?
3 to 6 months.
Do you have a job?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and keep your bonds at $2,000 and $1,000. I've appointed the public defender, and we'll see you back November 6th at 8:30 in the morning, okay?
Judge,
Oh, wait a
Okay,
second.
thank you.
there's two.
Yeah, got it. Mr. Goodwin, we also have another retail theft for you. I'm going to keep that bond at $2,000, and I've appointed the public defender on that case as well. And that's the same court date, November 6th at 8:30, okay?
Okay, thank you,
All
ma'am.
right. Brian Hartmansdorfer.
Ma'am.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What's your date of birth?
9/29/93.
All right. Okay, Brian, you are here today for a writ of bodily attachment for a child support case. You're severely behind on your child support obligations. What's going on? Are you working these days?
I've been incarcerated for the last 5 months, ma'am.
5 months?
Yes, ma'am.
Where?
In Charlotte County Jail.
Okay. Did they just bring you straight over from the jail over to here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When was the last time you paid child support?
I have not yet paid child support. When I went to child support court, for my first time, the week before I got arrested. I've been incarcerated off and on between that time.
Okay, because it says you were paying up until around like April or May of 2017. Is that not right?
I had a job. They might have been taking money out of the paycheck. I'm not sure.
I showed an arrest in April of 2017 for stalking and criminal mischief.
Okay, did you go to the hearing? You were at the hearing in April, right?
Yes, ma'am. I talked to a lady, and then I left. I thought I was done at court.
You left before the hearing was over? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I talked to a lady. I didn't know that. I thought the court was done. I didn't know I had to stay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, actually it says in here that you appeared in court, but you left even before the hearing was conducted. So they did not even get to talk to you about your ability to pay or anything like that. So then they put out this written bodily attachment right after that so that they could try to get you back in the court to figure out what's going on. What are you being held in custody for now? Other than this, what else is out there?
Nothing, ma'am. I EOS last week out of Charlotte County Jail, and they held me for this right here, ma'am.
Okay. Could you come up with any money to put towards your child support obligations at this point?
Once I'm released, I can. I have a job doing tree service, ma'am. I cannot make the money while being incarcerated.
Okay. All right. Is your tree service job going to be full-time?
Yes, ma'am.
And you can start that the second you get out of jail?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I cannot find you in willful contempt for failure to pay. But I do find that you do have the ability to pay in the future. You have a job lined up and you're willing to get to work tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release you from incarceration today without having to pay a purge. But you need to get in touch with the Department of Corrections right away and get a hearing date or arrange
Department
payments.
of Revenue?
I'm sorry?
Department of Revenue?
You would say
Department of Revenue right away to get in touch with whoever is in charge with child support enforcement and figure out what payments you need to make, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Peter Marin.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
6/11/76.
Okay, you were here today for a violation of probation. I see a warrant signed by Judge Toner, and he's indicating he wants no bond on that right now. So we're going to keep that at no bond. Do you want me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
I'd appreciate that.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender's office, and we'll see you back to court November 6th at 8:30 a.m., okay?
All right.
Stephen Roush.
Morning, ma'am.
Mr. Roush, what's your date of birth?
10/13/59.
Okay, you are here today for unlawful possession of personal identification, trespass on a structure, and grand theft auto. I did find probable cause for all of those things. Do you want to represent yourself? Do you want to hire somebody, or do you want the public defender's office?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Steve?
Yes.
There's a history going back, first DUI 87, and then we go to 2003. traffic, failure to appear 2004, traffic in 2004, 2005 possession of hydrocodone, 2008 grand larceny, Willis 2008 habitual offender, failure to appear 2012, possession of drugs 2015 controlled substance, 2016 grand theft adjudication, 2016 possession controlled substance without prescription adjudication of guilt and paraphernalia.
Okay.
There's some other possible out-of-state history. It's one of those with lots of...
Okay. Mr. Roush, I have an address for you on West Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you lived there?
A little over a year.
Okay. Do you have a job?
While I'm in here, they're going to get I get out.
Okay. What kind of work would you do?
Tree work.
Okay. All right, for the grand theft auto, I'm going to set your bond at $10,000. We're going to see you back to court November 6th at 8:30 a.m. For the unlawful possession of ID and trespass on a structure, I'm going to keep your bonds at $1,500, and we'll see you back November 8th at 9 o'clock.
Did you say PD?
PD on both. Yeah.
Thank you.
11-8 on the second case.
Yes. Dwayne Skoleski.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
10/23/85.
All right, Mr. Skoleski, you are here today for contempt of court for violating the injunction for having contact with the victim when you were told by me specifically not to. And just so the state's aware, this PC affidavit is not so great. It says that there was an injunction by Judge Eineman in case number 2017-1959-DR. That was ordered, I believe, on 10/11. But there's no indication anywhere in the PC affidavit that he was ever served with that. However, we do have a order, a no victim contact order signed by me on October 10th, indicating that you were to have absolutely no contact with the victim in that case. You chose not even to wait until you left jail to have contact with her, according to this PC affidavit, and that you called from jail. So I do find probable cause for your arrest. Do you want me to appoint the public defender to represent you?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the public defender's office. I'm going to, you have this pending case, 2017 CF 2228. I'm going to recommit you on that case. We're going to hold you in custody until you resolve that case because you violated your pretrial conditions on that case. For this case, this new case here today, I'm going to set your bond at $5,000. I'm sorry, State?
I was just going to let you know that he'd had the same type of allegations before and other violent offenses. So,
okay. And we'll see you back to court on November 8th at 9 a.m. on this new case, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the felony?
2017 CF 2228.
2228. Thank you.
Michael Nutt. Hi, Mr. Nutt. What's your date of birth?
12/4/86.
You are here for a retail theft charge. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Do you want to represent yourself? Do you want to hire somebody, or do you want the public defender's office?
Public defender, please.
Okay, I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. State?
yes, ma'am. December 2016, shoplifting out of Pasco County, adjudication of guilt and resisting adjudication of guilt. Another resisting and petty theft out of Hillsborough County, March of this year. I'm still showing it open and no disposition. In May of this year, fleeing to elude and traffic violation and Willis and resisting adjudication of guilt. I'm showing a June failure to appear this year out of Pasco, a August failure to appear this year out of Hillsborough, and then charges here. I don't know the date on ours, but This says 10-5 Fernando theft. I don't know if that's another.
It's after this one.
Okay.
The allegation of this one is 10-3.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Mr. Latt, I have an address for you on Aikens Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you lived there?
I'm sorry. There are
5 years.
numerous charges out of state, the same type of allegations.
All right. I'm sorry, sir. How long have you lived on Aikens Drive?
5 years.
Okay. Do you have a job?
I'm a veteran on disability.
Okay. Do you have any family in the area, Mr. Nutt?
No, ma'am.
Is he in Veterans Court for that 2017 CF2173 case? Do we know?
I don't recognize his name.
I don't either. He may have an application pending, but he's not.
Okay. Well, I've appointed the public defender, so you guys will look into that, and if he needs to change a court date to another court date, you'll make sure that happens. If he needs to be in I just don't want to miss them. All right, so for now, we'll set his court date for November 6th at 8:30 a.m. If that's supposed to be different. Yeah. And we're going to set the bond at $5,000. Okay, we'll see you back to court November 6th. Someone from the public defender's office will be out to see you if you don't bond out, okay? Dion Phillips.
We have an offer, Your Honor.
Good morning, Hon.
Good morning, Mr. Phillips. What's your date of birth?
2586.
All right. You were here this morning for a violation of probation. It looks like a warrant signed by Judge Hitzman on September 21st of this year. Do you want to try to resolve your case today?
Yes, ma'am, if I can.
Okay, I think the state has an offer.
The recommendation from probation and the state would be 60 days Fernando County Jail.
Okay. You can resolve it today for 60 days jail, and you'll get credit for any time that you have in. Do you want to resolve your case today? Can you
Yes,
hear
ma'am.
me? I'm sorry, can
Yes,
you hear
ma'am.
me?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to resolve your case today for 60 days Hernando County Jail? If you're not sure, that's fine. We can set you for a court date to come back on November 15th.
I'm gonna go ahead and set it today.
Okay, take care of it today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You understand that by admitting that you violated your probation, that you are giving up your right to have a hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Giving up right to confront witnesses at that hearing and provide witnesses of your own at that hearing. You want to give up those rights in order to take care of that case today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, with regard to the violation of probation in case number 2016 MM2498, do you admit that you violated your probation?
Yes, ma'am.
I accept your admission. I find it's freely and voluntarily entered. Adjudicate you guilty, revoke probation, sentence you to 60 days Hernando County Jail. Does anyone have a time served?
I'm not showing any other arrests other than
Okay.
the violation. I think it's a notice to appear.
Okay, so I'll give you 2 days time served for the time that you have in, and any conditions that were not met on probation, you'll have to take care of them when you get out, okay? If you owe any money, you got to come down to the clerk's office when you get out of jail and work out a payment plan for that, okay? We have $50
Yes, ma'am, but
cost of prosecution in that case.
Yes, ma'am. I was brought from Lake County, so I already have time in. Does that roll over to this time?
No, we're just going to give you the time that you have here in Hernando, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. That should do it. Thank you, Mr.